So there are three ingredients in every person, So there's a miraculous thing that happens when a woman conceives seed. It's not just a normal thing. It's a very, very miraculous thing that happens, and it shows us that Hashem is um, controlling every little aspect in his creation. Everything is inspired by him. So there are three ingredients in a person, in man, in a human being, when he or she is formed in the womb. So it is three ingredients. So one ingredient is from Hashem, one ingredient is from the father, and one ingredient is of the mother. So just like in let's say you bake a cake and you have certain ingredients to this cake, um, you need flour, right? And then you need sugar, you need milk, butter, whatever, If you take away the ingredient of sugar, you would still have a cake. If you would take away the ingredient of chocolate or whatever, you would still have a cake, but it wouldn't be a chocolate cake. But if you take away the ingredient of flour, you cannot have a cake. So there are three ingredients in man, and there is one ingredient that God gives us, that Hashem gives us. And if you would take that away, there would be no a person, there would be no man. So from Hashem comes from the two parents comes the physical part, like the child's bones, nails, hair, flesh, skin, and blood. And from Hashem comes the spiritual part, our spirit, our breath, the way you look, the beauty of features. He's the designer of that. He's the creator of that. The eyesight, the sense of seeing, the sense of hearing, the power of hearing, the sense of speaking and walking and understanding, being intelligent and have discernment between good and evil and all these things. So these things come from Hashem. So, and when it comes the time for a person to leave this world again, Hashem takes away his part. So he takes away the beauty of features. He takes away your eyesight. He takes away your hearing, your speaking ability, walking ability, understanding, and discernment. And finally, your breath in your spirit. And then only the two parts of the parents remain, the physical ingredients. As you can see, without the ingredient from Hashem, we cannot exist. And we read about it in Masechet Nida 31a, if you want to check it out. So at the beginning of the little embryo, I would say, it is like an unformed substance. So a woman conceives seed, and then it is a little tiny embryo, and it's a complete unformed substance without form. It's like without form and void. This is like V'haaretz hayta tohu vavohu, like in Bereshit, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And then Hashem forms it in a womb. So it's similar to how he created the heavens and the earth, So when you go to Jeremiah, in Jeremiah 1:5, it says, "Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you." So who forms you from this little unformed substance in the womb, this little embryo? It's Hashem. He forms it just like he formed the earth from being unformed, being tohu vabohu. I want to read a verse from Psalms in Tehillim chapter 139. Talks about this a little bit. Let me see. Let's start in verse 13. And it says, "For you have possessed my reins," meaning my kidneys. "You have covered me in my mother's womb." So David HaMelech is in the spirit, and he is talking about how Hashem knew him, formed him, even when he was in his mother's womb. So it says, "For you have possessed my reins, my kidneys," and the kidneys in have a spiritual significance when it comes to your discernment. You know, your decision making. You have two of them, one on the right side, one on the left side. You have covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows right well. My substance, meaning this unformed substance, this little embryo, my substance was not hid from you when I was made in secret. In secret, meaning inside of the womb, completely unformed. And then look at us now. We have a huge head. We have arms, legs, hands, feet, eyes, nose, all these things. But we were unformed substance, just like the earth and everything on it was without form and void. Tohu vavohu. It says in verse 15, "My substance was not hid from you when I was made in secret inside of your mother's womb, and no one can see it, and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes did see my substance as a little embryo, yet being unperfect, unformed. And in your book," meaning in the book of life, "all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them." So this is how beautiful and miraculously Hashem is creating us. He's forming us inside of the womb. And so the creation of the embryo of the baby is created the same way how fruits are created, also, by the way. So when a fruit is created, like an apple or a grape, it's first the peel, the outside, and then the inside of the fruit. Human being is created first the skin, the outside, and then the inwards. So first it's the skin, the peel, and then the insides grow, like the flesh, the bones, all these things. And the skin stretches and expands more and more as the inward parts grow. This is also a beautiful similarity to how his fruits on trees grow, and Hashem also told us that we are like trees, and Tehillim chapter 1 verse 1 to 3 for an example. So the skin can stretch and stretch and stretch more and more and expand. That's why even when you see a woman and she gives birth and she's a tiny skinny woman, as an example, but her belly is like growing and growing and growing because the skin can stretch, and then afterwards they have stretch marks or whatever. So this is powerful thing, how the skin can stretch. So during the whole time that the baby is inside the womb, the baby's mouth is closed. That's another miracle. It's just closed. But the umbilical cord is opened. Mouth is closed, the umbilical cord is opened, at the navel where the child gets fed to receive the food, it's open. And the baby does not go to the bathroom for 9 months. But it's eating every day. It's eating, getting fed, receives food every day, but does not go to the bathroom. That's another miracle of Hashem. Because if it would go to the bathroom, it would infect the mother and the mother would die, could die. That's another miracle, The mouth is completely closed. The umbilical cord at the navel is open. The baby receives food all day and doesn't go to the bathroom. Where does it go? That's a miracle of Hashem. And everything that the mother eats, the baby eats. They are super connected. So it starts inside of the womb. Our let's say our kosher life does not start when we are born. It starts inside of the womb. It's very important what the mother eats. That's why when you look at the vow of a Nazir, let's use Shimshon, Samson, as an example, to be even more set apart. The woman would be like commanded to not drink any wine or anything, no flesh, no meat, to be even more set apart, so that the baby can be even more set apart. So the thing starts inside of the womb and has a huge outcome on what the person would become when he gets born. Very important. And today, it is not talked about a lot. How this is super important for the woman. So the baby is inside of the womb for 9 months. Mouth is closed, umbilical cord is opened, baby receives food, but doesn't go to the bathroom. That's a miracle. But as soon as the baby is born, comes out of the mother's womb, a few hours later, you have to change the diaper. Because what happened now? Hashem changed everything, but it was still that same body. It's the same body. A few hours earlier, it was at the same stage, same size and everything, but it won't go to the bathroom. But a few hours later, after the birth, after drinking milk, let's say for 2 hours, all of a sudden, you have to change the diaper. That's a miracle. And then also how the baby knows where to get the food, where to get the milk from. Who told the baby, okay, this is the breast, and now I have to go to this breast to drink the milk? Who told the baby that? Someone told it to the baby, and it's Hashem. He's inspiring the baby, because a baby does not have to be taught, like in a school or wherever, or by his parents, how to drink milk. Someone else told it someone else told the baby how to do it, and that was Hashem directly, and inspiration from him. So he's in all things. And even, let's say, when you look at little baby turtles, when they are coming out of the egg, when they are being born and they are at the beach, how do they know immediately when they are born, or when they come out of the eggshell, that they have to go to the ocean now to be to live? Who told them that? They could have went the other way around. Okay, let's go into the woods. No, they go immediately towards the water, because Hashem is inspiring them. He's telling them, So these are miracles of Hashem, and you can see his miracles in all these things, man. So, and then when the baby is born, what happens? Comes out, the mouth is opened immediately. It was closed, and now it's open immediately, and the umbilical cord, this opening at the navel, is closed immediately. It's closed immediately, but the mouth is open now, and the baby is crying and screaming. And why is the baby not beginning his life with laughing? It begins with crying. This is also very symbolic for us, that in the beginning, we have to go through things. We are being tested. We have to go through things, and then later on, we're going to receive the reward, and then it's a time of joy and happiness. But first, we have to really go through this toiling and laboring in the world. So all these things, you can see so many details in that. But let's move on. And before we move on, that's another thing. Also, the baby is inside of the womb, right, for 9 months, and it is legs down inside of the mother's womb. Legs down. The head is up there, and the legs are down, point down. Shortly before the birth, someone tells the baby to flip over. Who told the baby to flip over? It's Hashem. How could the baby know that? No one, can explain these things. It's Hashem inspiring his creation.